But you can see. It's Let's say, speaking okay, can you hear me? No? Hello, testing, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Can. Okay, good. Hearing what? Okay. Yes. Okay, good. All right. So you hear me, right? Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you. Hi, good morning, everybody. This is Andrew Lau, Lowsutea president. Well, today the lecture is going to be a very important lecture for many people who are pre-diabetic diabetes. Okay. The reason why I actually established this lecture to basically provide to many of our existing patients and customers and so forth, because we found that actually we know that, but at least a lot of now customers come forward and say, hey, I've been pre-diabetic for a while. Now my gut has changed. And I have one item is very bothersome, not only just blood sugar, now it's constipation. And basically, they said the constipation is so bothersome because the whole day long they feel bloated, they cannot go, they feel uncomfortable, they want to go but cannot go. So psychologically, there's a real issue. I sit in the toilet for 2, 3 times a day, but no go. So net result, we first of all have to understand why this occurring, and how can you really either through certain diet control, exercise that help you to improve this process. And that become very important because, it's very interesting. As a human being, you're going to have your bowel movement is appears to be a very natural things, right? But unfortunately, when you are not really having all the proper processing, and especially higher blood sugar, that tend to change the whole cycle. And I want to make sure that you guys have a really good understanding, and so you can able to have a very smooth flow of your bowel movement and no struggle. And psychologically, it will be easy and you don't stress. And I can tell you a real good story. A lady, which is only 60 years old, she's very healthy. Look, appear outside, look very healthy. But she start getting high blood sugars coming around, and that result, she has like feeling continued constipations. I said, what does your stool look like? It says, oh, one pellet come out, pellets. Okay, so I know that she definitely had constipation. And so and I said, how much water you drink a day? So, oh, maybe 1,000 cc, just so, like you talk about, it's so limited fluid intake. And I said, how come you don't drink enough water? So, if I drink enough water, I have to go toilet, and I have to, just not used to drinking so much water. And she says she don't like water. So I introduced Lowsutea, helping her out, but her blood sugar is somewhat in the borderline, close to 6.4 and up. And so she's not quite diabetic, but she's a very close diabetic person. So I help her to basically start taking Lowsutea, and eventually for about 4 or 5 months, her blood sugars actually went down to about 6, not quite 6, under 6, under 5 or 5.7, but it's 6. So it's a good improvement. But her constipation is still continue to exist, but it's better. The reason one is better is because she start drinking now not 1,000 cc, drink 2,000 cc, which is 2 liter water that every day. And she actually drank fluid throughout the day. Now, the next step, what I did is I said, well, we have to change your diet a bit. So we need to get your fibers uptake and take your fibers and so forth to make sure you have enough fibers digestion, so you increase bulk. Plus, you have to get your probiotics. Probiotics is like, live bacteria that is good for your gut to, digest the food. So she follows through with some Greek yogurt every day. Also at nighttime, if she really feel hungry, instead of eating other snacks, she put some yogurt together and a little bit berries, And so with that, so her bowel movement become much easier. So every day now, instead of her stuck and basically force your bowel movement out, she basically able to easily flow her bowel movement. So she psychologically a tremendous improvement because she said, "Oh, I don't feel stuck anymore," and that is the major thing. You, a person also want to relieve themselves, right? So you don't relieve, they feel stuck, and it's a very frustrating. And she used to sit on the toilet for 3 times a day or 4 times a day, try to go to the toilet but cannot go. But now she only sit there for one time, and it went and much smoother. The palate is look like a banana now. I mean, the stew look like a banana now, look like a palate. So that is something that she felt a tremendous improvement. Plus, because she drink Lowsutea, her blood sugar got down to about 6, not quite 6 months, not 5.9, so for 6, but that is still a good improvement. So she continued drinking Lowsutea, and now she's much better. Psychologically, it's not improve, lot of improvement. She's much happier. So that's just a real story. Tell you that bowel movement is very important. So let's start diving together. Why constipation might be a blood sugar problem. Okay, first of all, we introduce why high blood sugar may slow down. So let's get the slides going first. Okay, so let's share our slides, and then we can able to start going with our lectures. Okay, so we're going to talk about what is the introduction, why high blood sugar really might lower your blood, actually does lower your slow down the digestion, and the surprise connection between diabetes and constipation, and the food that support healthy digestions, what food you help you be your digestion, also help you with bowel movement, and what daily habit can better your gut health, and also what is the natural way to help you support that healthy food sugar and get really better control sugar, get better fiber, better probiotics can help you, and how she can help you to going through this very important process. Now, another good point that we also learn from here is that we found a lot of my patient, they are no longer, it's not diabetes alone. It's really the pre-diabetic and people who have high cholesterol has a similar issue also comes out slowly coming down because and I explained the process why that happened. But at least you understand this is not only diabetic patient, pre-diabetic patient, and also people with high cholesterol. They also can potentially get this. Okay. So it's a very good lecture for you to better understand. So, but today I have a lot of friends here who are not familiar with the names. So I think they're new, but I always catch up. Don't worry. So everybody go through catch up, and then we move on to our main lecture. So everybody go through 4 stage from the stage 1 to stage 4, and they will become a diabetic. And usually at first it starts off stage 1, which is the high LDL cholesterol increase, which damage the B cells of the pancreas. B cell come out. B cells will take the sugar to the cells, and if B cell damage, sugars are not going to the cells. It will circulate in the bloodstream. Problem you gonna start. The cholesterol and sugar mixed together in the bloodstream, the blood become thick. And when blood becomes thick, it forms plaque all over the vessel wall. And you move to very quickly to stage 2. You see the vessel wall, it's got to get plaques everywhere. And that result, the blood pressure has got to go up because of the fact that there's less space in each of the vessels. Now, very quickly, you have no signs of same lifestyle. You probably change to stage 3, which is the pre-diabetic stage. Now, every doctor measure the same thing for pre-diabetic stage. They measure the HbA1c. The HbA1c basically, this is your blood, basically your hemoglobins, and they measure how many percent of your red cells sugar attached to the red cells. So you 5.7 below, you are a normal person. 5.7 above, then you are 5.7 to 6.4, you are a pre-diabetic patient. Now, when you're a pre-diabetic patient, the sad part is the doctor will say, hey, You're pre-diabetic now. You have to change your lifestyle. But we have no medication for you. So change lifestyle, which got low fat diet, low carb diet, exercise, lower your weight. And also you have to exercise and basically you after you change your lifestyle, hopefully the blood sugar will continue to go down back to under 6.4 and 5.7, this range. Now, one thing that a lot of people will try to do that or do it very shortly and they forget. So one item can help you is Lowsutea. Lowsutea definitely will help you at this stage. Will help you move the A1C all the way down to 5.7. If not, will be at least under 6. So you have to complete this, will definitely help you. But if you don't do anything, unfortunately, you move to the stage 4, which is the diabetic stage. So your A1C over 6.4, now you are a diabetes. Once you get that, you know what? It doesn't go back. You will continue to be diabetic and forever, and your insurance go up and so forth. So what we're trying to do here is prevent you become a diabetic. Or if you're a diabetic, we want to reverse you to pre-diabetic stage. And that's our objective. We'll talk about Lowsutea. Why Lowsutea? Lowsutea have two things in there. One is clover leaves, delay the absorption of sugar, enter the blood cells. And then you have bitter melon, which increase insulin sensitivity, takes sugar back to the cells. And the wonderful thing of bitter melon is the excess sugar, excess LDL cholesterol, and the salt will dump out through urine. So your three high will come down, your blood sugar, cholesterol, and blood pressure. Reason is the salt come down, blood pressure will come down. And plus we'll do a detox. Now we'll talk about earlier, doctor would say, hey, you know what, you really have to change your lifestyle. And it's really true because when you are pre-diabetic or diabetes, you gotta change your lifestyle, improve your blood sugar. So you will not have high blood sugar to potential create your, diabetic problem with all kind of medical issues like stroke, blindness, and heart attack, nerve damage. You want to eliminate that. So in order to do that, you several things you have to do. One, you have to drink Lowsutea, 6 to 8 cups a day. You have to eat low carb diet, low fat diet. You have exercise 8 to 10,000 steps a day, and you have to weight control. Bring your BMI down to 23 instead of you're 30 and up, and you have to measure your blood sugar, blood pressure, and cholesterol will be measured by a doctor. And try to listen to our webinar. Our webinar basically provide all these strategy and steps for you to follow through. And a lot of patients, I pretty much I see every patient to follow this. Even the A1C is high as 10 and 11, they bring it down to 5.7 or 6.0 and below. So they keep themselves healthy. So this is so important. Now you can also look at all our lecture before. Our lecture is you go to www.youtube.com at CTT's Lowsutea /video. So if not, take a picture of the QR code. You can able to see the QR code. You should able to actually get back all the old lectures. Okay, so try to do that. Okay, let's get down to deep dive into our lecture. Now, really diabetic, you got to have good gut health because the gut play a very important role to help you to weight manage and diabetic control. Now, reason why is that the gut has a lot of this thing called microbes, which is the trillions of good bacteria, which is help you to stay in your gut, and they have a very important role. But their role is basically help you break down the food, absorb the nutrients, and regulate your energy. Now, if you have poor gut health, the unfortunate thing is you're linked to obesity and diabetic. So healthy gut can help you to maintain healthy weight and control your blood sugar level. So that's important. Now remember, healthy gut help you to maintain healthy weight and control your blood sugar level. Even though you're not diabetic, you also need to have that actually. So you continue to help you improve your blood sugar throughout your body so you don't get to pre-diabetic stage diabetic. So that is something everybody can remember. So you might want to ask, so how do you link up this imbalanced gut microbiome and diabetes then, So imagine the gut has a lot of good microbiome bacteria, right? Okay, to help you to break down food and absorb nutrients. And also they produce a short chain fatty acid in the process. Now, if you don't get that done, so you have, a lot of good bacteria, but it's not happening. So what happened is you're gonna start getting inflammation in the gut, and it's called dysbiosis. And this imbalance of gut microbes will lead to a chronic inflammation. Now, when you get chronic inflammation, it impair the insulin sensitivity and affect the blood sugar regulation. Because the insulin doesn't work, then your blood sugar go up, okay? And worse that, if you got a lot of these bad bacteria around and they no longer allow the good bacteria will help you process food, you might potentially call leaky gut. Well, leaky gut does mean the lining of the guts are damaged and the bacteria start leaking out to your bloodstream and cause further increased inflammation of the whole body. And your insulin, consider insulin resistance is going to go higher. So you really have to make sure maintain good metabolism and good microbes. And if that has been changed, some of these gut bacteria now will take over and basically impact your digestion of carbohydrate, fats, leading potential high blood sugars level. And so the microbiome of the gut, meaning the bacteria, thousand million trillions of bacteria, is very important. Make sure you don't want to let the harmful bacteria take over, which is if you don't control, then you will have high bacteria, which is bad bacteria. Your immunity go down, but you have good microbiome. You can actually improve your immune system because they will continue to digest the bad bacteria doesn't take over. Now, telling all that sounds like complicated, but don't worry. I will get you a new slide, which will help you to better understand what does a healthy gut look like, what does a high blood sugar gut look like. Now, you can see on the left side, if you're a healthy gut, your body will move very nicely, the nerve, and it's called peristalsis. It's a wave-like of movement of your small intestine and to the large intestine, and you can see smoothly. You can dump out your bowel move your stool add together, and all the insulin can able to help to remove all the sugar and so forth. Okay, because the insulin is there to absorb the sugar. Get the insulin to absorb the sugar into the bloodstream. Okay, but when you have high blood sugar, the problem, the first thing is the sugar start damaging the digestive nerve. So this nerve right here. And when your nerve become weak, you know what can happen? Your gut become slow moving of the food coming down. Now, so when slow moving of gut food down, your bowel movement will also slow down because the bowel is actually go with the wave-like, continue move the stool down, right? So if you have slowed down this process, the constipation will gonna start occurring. That's the reason why it's so important to maintain your good blood sugar so it doesn't damage this nerve here. So we can able to get a very good movement, okay, of the bowel coming down. So now you understand how the constipation start meaning to you. So usually, how do you understand, am I constipated or I'm not constipated? How do you know that? Okay. First of all, in definition, if you have less than 3 bowel movement in each week, you are actually in constipation. And your stool usually hard or dry stool, and usually the stool will come with one piece of like pebbles, nuts, coming out, piece by piece nuts. And every time you go movement, you have to and strain during the bowel movement, which is very uncomfortable. And also for the elderly, it's a risk for you because if you don't do it correctly using this, you don't know how your brains works in the sense that is your brain has some vessels are very weak. You might blow one of the vessels, then you got a stroke. Or sometimes some people get even heart attack because your heart is vessel is not that strong either. So that can be really a potential high risk if you continue to go every day and do this. That's not good. And on top of that, a lot of time when after you finish a bowel movement, the sad part is you feel like, hey, I didn't complete all my bowel movement either. And you feel really uncomfortable because you feel like something's still stuck in there. Imagine that, always feel I bloated, and then this abdominal feel uncomfortable. It's still something stuck in there, something's still in there, not coming out. And psychologically it really bothers you. And I can see a lot of my patients have the same issue. I can really sympathize with them. So that's why I generate this lecture to help you better understand, well, how do you improve this? Because it's really bothering me, because not only blood sugar, but the constipation really every day kind of get after me, because I sat in the toilet 3 times a day, still don't come out. And that is very true. So I want to make sure you understand how to help you out in this lecture. Now, so people who have diabetic or pre-diabetic tend to have more constipation. Now, why that happened? Okay, one is because remember in the upper, where the stomach is, you have got to start getting nerve damage. So the nerve damage, once you get that start getting beginning nerve damage, your gut is going to not moving fast. And so your gut not moving fast, your stool is going to move down real slow. On top of that, because you're high blood sugar, and usually the kidney will dump the excess sugars out through your urinations. So because of that, then you have less water to actually help the moving of the stool. So you have become a dehydration of the gut, and the high blood sugar continue to go up. Plus, many of the elderly folks, like a lot of my customers, the same thing. They tell me, "Oh, I hardly walk." Less physical, they making the gut to be active. So net result, they tend to have less physical, helping the gut to move, so get the bowel, start moving. So less physical activity, they tend to get bowel movement also slow down. And plus, sometimes some of that medication does actually cause you to have constipation. So when your constipation occur, you gotta ask the doctor, say, hey, I have a constipation, man. And on top of that, a lot of our patients tend to have a little poor diet, and they don't eat as more of the vegetable, and they also there are not enough fibers. So all that thing add together, diabetic tend to have more constipation. I see it many of our customers. I would say 60 to 7% of our customers tend to have somewhat, if they're diabetic or pre-diabetic, it start coming into. They started off without the constipation. As time goes on, they become more a chance of constipation. And that certainly takes some years to build into this stage. But I start seeing it if they have 3 to 5 years of diabetes, they start getting that. And they need help start moving into, and they need help. Now, some of the warning signs you cannot ignore. Now, for example, you have constipation lasting several weeks, and you have frequent bloating. I feel bloated, and on top of that, your stomach pain. You feel full all the time, and worse yet, you feel nauseated, and then your blood sugar are now very difficult to control. So if this warning sign coming out, so you are now going to face some issue, and you really need to get the doctor to know about this so it can start helping you. Okay, but meantime, you can also still help yourself, and help yourself is that you have the food that support your healthy digestion. Okay, the reason why is when you have food with good healthy digestion, that will help you on moving the bowel. Definitely help you. The first thing is you have to have better vegetable, and we'll dive in a little more what vegetable to take. You have to have fruits, you have the whole grain, you have the beans, lentils, oats. All these are high fibers items, can help you to move the bowel out. So fibers are very important. Have the better vegetable is important. You have to eat a lot more vegetable every day. You have to eat oats, lentils. That's all good stuff for you. So you got to start doing that. Now, we talk about fruits. What fruit would be good for you? Apple is really good. Now, your apple It's not you got peel the skin. No, just eat with the skin because added more fibers. Pears is also very good. Kiwis are very good. And now one more thing is berries. Berries are rich with fiber, antioxidant. Now, but you don't want to just eat berry alone because you're going to have another one called prunes. Prune don't drink the juice, okay? It's not what you want to do to drink the prune juice, no good. But you want to have the prunes that that basically has a natural sugar that will help you to soften the stool. So that way you can make the bowel movement much easier. So all that with this, you can able to basically, if you eat fruits, choose this fruit because that will definitely help you. Okay. Now, there's sort of a lot of elderly patients that I work with. They also forgot to drink water. Oh, that's bad. They drink 1,000 cc already. Oh, I drink too much water. Now, the thing is, drinking water, drinking Lowsutea is very different because Lowsutea has some taste in there. It's a fruity taste. It's very delicious. And you eat dinner, lunch, breakfast, and you continue to drink, and you drink throughout the day. The reason we plan it to have 2 liter, if you can do 2 liter, 1.5 liter, I will go for it too. The reason when your sugar go high, you know what thing you do? The water will basically will dump out the sugar, excess sugars out from kidney. So your whole body starts getting dehydrated. So you gotta have enough water to prevent the dehydration so it can continue moisture your bowel so it can move this BM your bowel movement and the stool much easier come out. So very important, you have to do 6 to 8 glasses a day, at least 2 liters or 1.5 a meal a day or cc. That will definitely help you to moving the bowel. So water is very important to help you to move. Without a water, you are not able to move the bowel, the stool out, and plus the stool become hardened like rocks, and you don't want to do that. So now also you have to move the body because move the body, I guess you're also moving your gut. So the exercise support your digestion. So what kind of exercise you gotta do? You have to walking, swimming, cycling, gardening, stretching, all that can help. Now, a lot of the old folks say, I can walk, I can run. It's so hot in Hong Kong, I can't do it. One exercise, very simple. You sit in a chair, you just sit up, sit down, sit up, sit down, and then you move a leg movement on the chair. And you can do a barbell, do this, okay, and a chair. You're basically not moving, but you do a barbell, do this, stretching, and you open up your neck, your upper body. But the important thing, you have to go sit up, sit down, sit up, sit down. And so net result, you are continue to still moving, and you can move your leg and a chair, so that way you can able to continue having your exercise and help your support your digestion. Now, then how are you going to help you to also support your blood sugar to make sure you have good blood sugar all the time? Now, really have better blood sugar, first of all, you are protecting your digestive nerve. So you really want to prevent the nerve not working well, so your bowel are not going through the small intestine to move fast out. Rather, you make very slow down. So you got to protect that digestive. So you got to able to get lower blood sugar, so it won't damage the nerve on the stomach coming to the small intestine. You have to really reduce the dehydration. In other words, you have to drink enough water because the water is the only way you can able to flush out all the excess sugars, right? So you get enough water. So you have enough water. You have smoothing the bowel with enough water. Your BM, your stool can come out easily. And then, so net result, you will improve your bowel movement, and net result, you also ultimately you increase your energy and you won't frustrate it. So improve your good blood sugar is very important. Now, certainly a lot of things can help you on this is one, you have to have good food diet to support your blood sugar. And what to choose? You have to every day when you eat, you gotta think of leafy green vegetable. I always teach all my patients one half of the plates are green leaves. You can put that together like salad, kale, whatever green is okay to do that. Now, certainly you can eat bitter melon, as you know, in our Lowsutea, bitter melon is one of the choice, and guavas one of the choice. So drink Lowsutea. You got it. And then you can have beans, you have nut, you have salmon fish with good omega, protect your heart, eggs, and healthy fat. So these are the food that support the healthy blood sugar, and you got to always choose it every day, not once a week. Every day you have to have that. And you have to have daily, you have to really have starting a habit. And the habit has to eat meal regular time. In other words, if I every day at 11 o'clock eat my lunch and breakfast 7 o'clock, you do it every day. Don't do 7 one day, next day your breakfast is 10. That's not good. So every day, 7, 8, I eat my breakfast. I'll drink my Lowsutea, 2 cups. And then after that, lunch, I start at 11:30. I'll eat my lunch, 2 cups Lowsutea. So you drink water throughout the day. Instead of water, you drink Lowsutea. And so you can really keep up the fluid, can help the stool to move out slowly. Your smooth, you have enough better water, your smooth come out is what? It's like a banana, not a piece of rock coming out like pebbles, okay? And you walk daily, you can do a chest exercise daily. You have to do the exercise, and you have to sleep 7 to 8 hours per day, and you have to manage your stress. And that is so important. Because when you do all that, your blood sugar will go down. And important, if your blood sugar go down, it's not going to damage your stomach coming out, those nerves, and you will not slow down the dumping of these the food from the stomach to the small intestine, eventually to large intestine. So with that, you want to continue to protect that nerve damage. Don't get them to get nerve damage. And that's what we're trying to do. Now, we'll talk about probiotic and prebiotics. Very important. And both create a powerful synergy. Why? Because provide you initially good bacteria. Now, you gotta have the good bacteria because they help you to do the digestion, absorption, nutrition, all that is come from there. So with the probiotic, it's important to be there. So you can do probiotic, basically a yogurt, a Greek yogurt is very, very good. There are a lot of good probiotic. Now, prebiotic is you feeding the growth of the bacteria. So you know when you take the probiotic, now you need some good bacteria food, so to speak, and grow, promote, getting a lot of good microbe, a lot of good bacteria. You don't want to have bad bacteria take over. So you need to promote and grow more good bacteria. Then you use the prebiotics. Now you have to also improve insulin sensitivity, like blood sugar control, because when you have good probiotic, insulin will work better, will not get sensitivity, and the blood sugar will become better because now you have more insulin to take the sugar back to the cells. And that will be, and with that, your pre-diabetic or diabetic will be tremendously benefit. The key here is a lot of the elderly or longer time diabetic, the insulin are continue to start getting resistant. So even the medication doesn't help. That's why we drink Lowsutea, because Lowsutea is improved the insulin sensitivity and take sugar back to the cells. And a lot of people didn't know that, and then drink this, my blood sugar become better. The reason is we improved the insulin sensitivity, so more sugar back to the cell after drinking Lowsutea. Plus, Lowsutea will also help you to excess sugar and also the LDL cholesterol and the salt will dump it out through your urine. So net result, you have 3 high will be start going down. And with better blood sugar control, you also reduce the inflammations. And net result, the less inflammation, so you have less chronic disease that start forming. And on top of that, because of what you do, you're enhancing the whole digestion system. Food are getting nutrition absorption, and now you are getting strong immunity rather than You're not getting that. You get bloated, and but the bad bacteria start taking over. You eliminate all that. So that is so important. So probiotic, prebiotic, both add together are very important for you. Okay, so when should I go see a doctor to really recognize that, hey, I have really a problem of constipation? So when you go for doctor advices, when your constipation lasts more than 3 weeks. In other words, in 3 weeks, I constantly cannot go 3 to 5 days. I could not go, and then start develop severe pain throughout. I feel my stomach feel pain, real bloated, so uncomfortable. And the worst that the stool coming out bloody. And if you have bloody red stool, that means your lower gut is having some bleeding issue. If dark black stool, that means you really have the stomach area start getting really issue with blood, becomes dark black and mix up with your stool. And plus, you have sudden weight loss. What I lost 30 pounds within a month or so. So the sudden weight loss might not be just diabetes, could be other issue like cancer and so forth. And plus, you feel nausea, feel like vomiting, and plus your blood sugar are very high. You lose control. It's no longer the good old 120 anymore, and it's going to be looks like 160, 170 all the time. So you got to go back to the doctor to find out what can they do for you. So now, understand Lowsutea really does help you with pre-diabetic diabetes because basically there are two things in there. There are guava leaves and bitter melon. And guava leaves is delay the sugar getting to the cells. And bitter melon improve the insulin sensitivity, take back the sugar to the cells. And excess sugar, the more important, excess sugar, excess LDL cholesterol, and excess salt will dump it up through urine. And that result, your sugar will go down, yeah, bad cholesterol LDL will down, and then salt go down, your blood pressure go down. So really can promote a very good healthy awareness for you if you continue to drink Lowsutea. Plus, with specially designed Lowsutea, you have to drink 1.5 mil to 1,500 mil was 1.5 liters or 2 liters of fluid. This fluid is so important because it helps you to smooth out your stool so your stool can easily goes out. The reason, remember, when you're high blood sugar, the body will dump out your water to get rid of the sugar. And that result, you're going to start somewhat dehydrated. You have to replace of this sugar, this water by drinking the water. So instead of drink water, you drink Lowsutea. It help you to continue to dump the bad sugars out, but it's also increase the insulin sensitivity, get the sugar back to the cell. So that's why it's so important. Okay, so in conclusion, high blood sugar really truly may slow your digestion because remember the nerve start getting damaged, so the bowel coming down is slowing down, it's getting harder and harder. So elevated blood sugar level can really actually hinder your digestion and bowel movement due to the nerve damage. So diabetic can contribute constipation, and frequently we see that. So yeah, excuse me. And so you need to how to if you have diabetes, you got constipations, how do you work with it then? So you really have to get fibers, more fiber foods, more fiber you create bowel, so your bowel can easily move out. Plus water. Instead of water, you drink Lowsutea. You get 2 liters a day or at least 1.5 liters a day so you get enough water to have a smooth out the bowel to go out. Plus you have to exercise to support your gut health. Okay, you say, I cannot walk, then do chair exercise. That's okay. Or step master, that's good too. And you're gonna need the healthy food, which is not to get all these sugar spike. Okay, so because with that, you are protecting your digestive nerve. So really at the end of the day, you want to do that, you make sure you have a lot. Half is all fibers, greens, vegetable, 1/4 is your protein, like fish. 1/4, salmon fish, high omega, and 1/4 is your starch with brown rice, red rice, lentil, kidney beans, all that beans. So you get a very good balanced diet to help you lower your blood sugar to protect nerves, your digestive nerve. And your daily habit, again, you gotta have drinking your Lowsutea, 1.5 mil, 1,500 mil, or 2 liters. So you have enough water to able to get smoother your bowel. Plus, you really control your blood sugar. Make sure that you have your healthy diet with fibers, sugar, lower sugar diet, and you have low sugar to help you dump lower your blood sugar, protect your the gut nerve damage. Make sure that don't do a lot of nerve damage. Those are all started with daily habit, and you have to exercise, you have to get rest, you have to decrease your stress. All these become a daily habit for you, and you gotta sleep 7 to 8 hours a day. So all that add together, now you have a very healthy person because I have good dieting, I have good exercise, I sleep well, I don't get overstressed, my blood sugar doesn't go up real high. With all that, you become a much more healthy person. So with that though, you still need probiotic. Probiotic has helped you to generate better gut bacteria, so get better digestion, help you break down the food easier. So also promote bowel regularity. So now all that you feel good about now, but unfortunately, you might still have some issue. Like for example, you still could do gut constipation. As a matter of fact, getting worse. You start getting blood in stool, real constipated, and you can't figure out how. Well, you gotta see a doctor. Doctor need to help you. Maybe check it out, see why you have continued got ongoing constipation. So this is really today summarizing why you're a diabetic. One of the problems you may have is constipation. So you will need to figure out, well, you have that, well, how to resolve it. We told you all the story to resolve by, exercise, dieting, drink Lowsutea, fibers, probiotic, all that can already stated to you. Remember, probiotic is definitely very helpful for you. So remember that. Okay, so nothing work, you still constipate, then you gotta see doctor. All right, today lectures is that. I hope you give you a good understanding why pre-diabetic and diabetes will have constipation. I think this is something really good for you to understand. Now, you have any question, call me or write to me, Andy, A-N-D-Y, at WAHFONG.com. Andy at WAHFONG.com. Or call WhatsApp at 6792-8891. Area code 852-6792-8891. All right. Thank you very much for participating. I hope you have a great weekend and start practicing drinking Lowsutea, and practice the diet that I talk about, exercise talk about, and really get better gut health. Thank you again. Take care. Bye-bye.